As a neurologist, I have seen hundreds of strokes. But there was one case that really surprised me because overnight, the patient went from being healthy to being stiff, blood pressure skyrocketing, and having severe brain damage. The cause was a nut that many of you probably eat every day and maybe even had it last night. I know this sounds too good to be true. We've been told for years that nuts are good for your heart, cholesterol, and overall health. And yes, that can be true if you eat them at the right time and in the right amounts. But late at night, things can change, especially for people over 60. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 common nuts that can be damaging your brain without you even knowing it. If you or someone you know eats nuts regularly, this information could save a life. So sit back and watch. What you're about to hear will shock you. First, let me tell you about a nut that's probably sitting in your pantry right now. Crunchy, salty, and potentially deadly if eaten after dark. Salted almonds are a favorite snack in millions of American households. They taste good, seem healthy, and are a great snack to have while watching TV at night. But this seemingly harmless snack can secretly raise your blood pressure at night, making you more likely to have a stroke while you sleep. The main culprit here is sodium, but not in the way you might think. Salted almonds typically contain 150 to 200 milligrams of sodium per ounce. That may not sound like much, but if you're snacking mindlessly, which most people do, that sodium adds up fast. For adults over 60, especially those with blood pressure issues, even a small spike in sodium can be disastrous. This is exactly what happens inside your body. Sodium causes your body to retain water, which dramatically increases the amount of blood flowing through your blood vessels. This puts a lot of pressure on your artery walls, causing your blood pressure to spike just when your body is supposed to be relaxing and recovering while you sleep. Your heart has to work overtime, and the pressure on your blood vessels becomes dangerous. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension followed 1,200 adults over age 65 for 2 years and found that even moderate sodium intake within 3 hours of bedtime increased nighttime blood pressure by an average of 18%. And the risk isn't just in the numbers on the chart. But the scary thing is, it's not just in the numbers on the chart. Consistently high nighttime blood pressure increases the risk of silent strokes and early morning cardiovascular events by up to 340%. Think of your arteries as garden hoses. During the day, when you're active, water flows smoothly through them. But at night, they're supposed to relax and allow a gentle, steady flow. When you load up on sodium before bed, it's like turning up the water pressure, while the hose remains coiled and restricted. Eventually, something has to give. Are there any improvements you can make? The answer is yes, absolutely. If you like almonds, switch to unsalted or lightly salted almonds and enjoy them first thing in the morning when your body has all day to process the sodium and maintain fluid balance. Second, control your portion sizes. A small handful, about 1 ounce, is enough to get the nutritional benefits without overloading yourself with salt and calories. If you want to snack in the evening, you can replace them with raw almonds, which are heart-healthy and rich in healthy fats that help reduce inflammation. Finally, don't forget to drink enough water throughout the day to help your kidneys flush out excess sodium. These small changes, when made regularly, will help your heart, brain, and circulatory system run more smoothly. And that's the gift of lasting health you can give yourself every day. Next, there is a snack that looks healthy and convenient, but can silently attack your heart and brain while you sleep. Let me reveal the hidden truth. At first glance, a trail mix might seem like the perfect bedtime snack. The nuts provide protein, the dried fruit adds natural sweetness, and the combination seems like a smart alternative to cookies or ice cream. But most store-bought trail mixes are potentially dangerous, high in salt, sugar, and preservatives, which combine to put a silent strain on your cardiovascular system while you sleep. Let me break this down for you. First, there's the sodium issue. Many people don't realize that the salt in nut mix comes not just from the salt sprinkled on top, but also from the processing and preserving salts used to extend shelf life. Even the dried fruit in your mix may be treated with a sodium-containing solution to preserve its color and texture. So, a seemingly harmless handful of nut mix could contain more sodium than you think. Sodium causes water retention, which increases blood volume and leads to high blood pressure. This forces the heart to work harder, especially at night when the heart needs to rest. But sodium is just the beginning. Then there's sugar, especially from colorful dried fruits. Sugar promotes inflammation in the blood vessels, weakening the lining of the arteries. When you combine high blood pressure from sodium with inflammation from sugar, you create the perfect conditions for blood clots to form. A comprehensive study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition tracked the eating habits of 2,100 adults over the age of 60 for 4 years. The results were startling. Participants who regularly ate high-sodium, high-sugar snacks within 3 hours of bedtime had an 89% higher rate of cognitive decline and a 156% higher risk of cardiovascular events than those who avoided late-night snacking. When blood flow slows during sleep, clots are more likely to form and travel, increasing the risk of stroke or heart attack. Think of your blood as a highway at night. Traffic should flow freely and smoothly. But with excess sodium and sugar in your body, that highway becomes clogged and sticky, making it easier for platelets to clump together and form clots. And as you know, clots can lead to strokes or heart attacks. Most commercial nut mixes contain more than 180 milligrams of sodium and 16 grams of sugar in what manufacturers call a single serving. But the reality is that most people don't stop at the official serving size. Just a few handfuls can push your cardiovascular system over the edge, especially when consumed right before your body is supposed to rest and recover. So, which is safer? The answer is to make your own dry mix at home. Choose nuts, no salt, combined with dried fruit sugar, free like raisins, dried cranberries, or chopped dates. It's important to skip the candy or chocolate chips found in commercial nut mixes altogether, as these will only cause a spike in sugar and calories, causing the same negative effects as eating sweets at night. It's best to enjoy this mix in the morning or as a snack before noon, when your body is most active, burning energy, and processing the sodium or natural sugars in fruit more efficiently. Eating it early in the day will help prevent water retention and increased blood pressure at night, which can affect both your blood pressure and your sleep. However, if mixed nuts sometimes cause you to accidentally load up on salt or sugar, the next type of nut is another potential risk for a completely different reason, extremely high in fat and calories. I am talking about macadamia nuts, nuts with a rich flavor and a smooth, nutty texture that is hard to resist. Just a small handful will give you the same amount of calories as a high-energy snack. This is not necessarily a bad thing if you eat them in the morning and control your portion sizes, but if you eat them in the evening, especially when you are sedentary, these calories and fats are easily stored as fat, causing weight gain and indirectly affecting your heart health, circulation, and prostate. Macadamia nuts, a nutritious snack that silently disrupts blood flow to the aging brain. Most people think of macadamia nuts as a luxury, even a luxury, a greasy Hawaiian snack, or a fancy box of holiday cookies. Smooth, creamy, and packed with good fats, they're considered brain food, but few people tell older adults about it. During the day, they're actually beneficial, but after 6 p.m., especially for adults over 60, they become silent brain killers. I want to share with you the case of a patient named Barbara Chen, 74 years old, from California, a retired nurse with extensive nutritional knowledge. For 18 months, she maintained the habit of eating 8 to 10 organic macadamia nuts every night, believing it was the perfect brain snack. Until one day, she woke up disoriented, with severe dizziness, shaking hands, and unable to remember her daughter's phone number. At the hospital, brain imaging showed multiple areas of reduced blood flow, and blood tests recorded triglycerides nearly 4 times higher than normal. The reason? Macadamias contain about 22 grams of fat per ounce. Although good fats during the day, when eaten at night in the elderly, they can become a metabolic nightmare, disrupting circulation and increasing the risk of brain damage. It may seem unbelievable that such a tiny macadamia nut contains about 22 grams of fat per ounce, making them one of the fattiest foods on earth. Macadamias are actually rich in monounsaturated and saturated fats, the kind often praised in the Mediterranean diet. While these are mostly healthy monounsaturated fats during the day, these fats create a metabolic nightmare when consumed at night by aging people. When you eat that much fat at night, your digestive system goes into overdrive, trying to break down and process this massive amount of fat. Your body diverts a huge amount of blood from your brain to your digestive organs. This means that during the crucial hours of the night, when your brain needs a steady supply of blood to maintain and repair itself, it is starved of oxygen and nutrients. Dr. Michael Chang at Stanford University conducted an important study that looked at fat intake and cardiovascular health in older adults. His study was conducted on adults over the age of 65 and found that consuming too much saturated fat negatively affected cardiovascular function. The study found that consuming too much fat can lead to impaired blood flow and increased blood thickness overnight due to a slowing of metabolism during sleep. This condition, known as postprandial dyslipidemia, increases the risk of blood clots because aging also reduces the flexibility of blood vessels, impairing blood flow at night. And here's the more alarming part. The body diverts blood to the digestive system to break down fatty foods like macadamia nuts, which means the brain is starved of blood during the crucial stages of deep sleep, when the brain needs steady blood flow to clean itself, regulate blood pressure, and maintain cognitive balance. In older adults, this diversion can be enough to cause a temporary reduction in cerebral blood flow, leaving the brain vulnerable to small blood clots, especially if it's accompanied by other conditions: mild dehydration, poor sleeping posture, irregular heartbeat. A comprehensive review published in NIH's PubMed Central found that reducing saturated fat intake for at least 2 years significantly reduced the combined risk of cardiovascular events, such as heart disease and stroke, by about 21%, reinforcing the link between saturated fat and cardiovascular risk. The study was based on data from more than 59,000 participants in 15 randomized controlled trials. The findings underscore that replacing saturated fat with polyunsaturated fat or carbohydrates provides cardiovascular benefits. The solution is not to completely eliminate macadamia nuts, but to adjust the way you eat them. Enjoy them in the morning or before lunch. Reduce the portion to about 6 to 8 nuts at a time, 2 to 3 times a week. Eat them with fiber-rich foods to aid digestion and slow down the absorption of fat. Drink enough water and avoid eating at least 3 hours before going to bed. With just these small changes, you can still enjoy the rich flavor of macadamia nuts without harming your brain and overall health. As we continue to uncover the truth behind so-called healthy snacks, there's one nut that often gets overlooked: walnuts. They're touted as brain food, but they may pose risks that many seniors don't realize. Walnuts are often called health gold. Rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and phytonutrients, they're touted for their brain health and heart protection. But when seniors eat them at night, they can trigger a cascade of inflammatory responses that silently damage blood vessels in the brain while you sleep. Here's a hidden danger of walnuts that even doctors overlook. Unlike some other nuts, walnuts are rich in polyunsaturated fats, especially alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3. During the day, ALA helps reduce inflammation and supports heart health. But at night, your body processes fat differently. Metabolism slows, the digestive system rests, and fat stays in the blood longer, especially in older adults whose lipid metabolism has already slowed. Here's where things get complicated. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming high-fat foods, even healthy fats, before bed can increase triglyceride levels at night. Triglycerides are the main form of fat that the body stores and circulates in the blood. High triglyceride levels at night can disrupt the body's natural blood flow regulation and increase the risk of hardening of the arteries over time. Your body can't get rid of fat as efficiently as it does when you're sleeping. There's another problem. Some people experience acid reflux or indigestion when they eat fatty foods late in the day, including walnuts. This can affect sleep quality and even cause a spike in cortisol at night, a stress hormone that affects both blood pressure and heart rate. And don't forget that store-bought walnuts are often salted or sugared, which only adds to the burden on your heart. Eating a handful before bed may seem harmless, but if they're salted or honey roasted, you're adding sodium and sugar to the slow-digesting fat. So, what's the big deal? Walnuts certainly deserve a spot on any list of foods that are good for your heart, brain, and overall health. But timing is key to maximizing their benefits. Eating them in the morning or at lunch, sprinkling them on oatmeal, salads, or plain yogurt, for example, will help your body absorb and metabolize the healthy fats, omega-3s, and antioxidants most effectively. Eating them early in the day gives your body more time to use them for energy, while also avoiding unnecessary stress on your cardiovascular and digestive systems at night, when they need to rest and recover. Think of it as a simple but powerful strategy. Eat the right foods at the right times. And don't look away, because we're coming to the end of the article, where I'll help you connect all the information into a clear picture, so you can not only understand it, but also apply it to your health right away. There is another nut sold in most grocery stores that is advertised as a heart-healthy snack, but it silently raises your blood pressure at night like a loaded gun. I am talking about cashews. Cashews may look harmless, fatty, delicious, and heart-healthy, but lurking beneath that smooth shell is a troubling compound, oxalate. Oxalates are found in many plant foods, but cashews contain high levels. Here's the scary truth about oxalates that most people don't know. Cashews contain about 49 milligrams of oxalate per ounce, making them one of the highest oxalate nuts out there. For young people with healthy kidneys, this isn't usually a problem. But after age 60, kidney function naturally declines, and your body loses the ability to effectively remove these dangerous compounds. When you consume foods high in oxalates at night, your kidneys become less efficient because of the slow metabolism at night. Oxalates accumulate in the blood and begin to bind with calcium to form sharp crystals. These crystals deposit in the walls of blood vessels, causing inflammation and gradually damaging the delicate lining of the arteries. Think of oxalate crystals as tiny pieces of broken glass circulating in the blood. Over time, they scratch and damage the inside of blood vessels, creating rough patches where blood clots are more likely to form. This process is especially dangerous in the brain, where even small clots can cause significant damage. A study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases found that a diet high in oxalate can increase the risk of kidney stones by up to 37%, especially in people with poor glomerular filtration function. Meanwhile, another study in the Journal of Vascular Research found that oxalate deposits in blood vessel walls can cause inflammation and promote atherosclerosis. Damage caused by oxalate buildup is often irreversible. Once these crystals are deposited in blood vessel walls, they continue to promote inflammation and blood clot formation even after you stop consuming oxalate-rich foods. For older adults with kidney disease, dehydration, or taking medications that affect calcium metabolism, cashews can double that risk. Eating a handful of cashews before bed may seem harmless, but it could actually make you more susceptible to stroke. The solution? You don't have to cut out cashews completely, but eat them in small amounts and early in the day, ideally in the morning or before lunch, to give your body time to process and eliminate the oxalate before bed. Drink plenty of water when eating cashews to help your kidneys filter and excrete the oxalate in your urine. Alternatively, you can substitute nuts that are lower in oxalate, such as pumpkin seeds or pistachios. These options provide healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals while putting less stress on your kidneys and urinary system. Cashews can be a silent threat because of their high oxalate content, a factor that few people think about but directly burdens the kidneys and blood vessels, especially in the elderly. However, not all risks come from complex compounds like oxalate. Sometimes the problem lies in a very simple factor. Everyone knows the name, but its destructive power is easily overlooked: salt. And the next nut is proof of that. Small, cheap, and popular, this is a favorite snack of millions of Americans, but if eaten at the wrong time, it can cause blood pressure to skyrocket in just a few hours. That is the sunflower seed. By the way, we are talking about nuts, one of the nutritional components for overall health. I want to share something special with you. I have compiled a set of 100 healthcare strategies, from healthy diets to simple but effective exercises to maintain endurance, increase longevity, protect the heart and brain, improve memory, and awaken inner strength. This is especially important for people over 60 to protect their health and prevent dangerous diseases such as stroke or Alzheimer's. These strategies are my gift to you. All you have to do is open your phone camera and scan the QR code on the screen. You will be taken to some very useful information. In addition, I have attached a direct link in the comment section, pinned at the beginning of this video. After watching, let's continue the conversation. Sunflower seeds may seem harmless, a crunchy snack that may even be healthy. But for adults over 60, they pose a triple threat: high sodium, excess omega-6 fats, and mindless overeating. First, they're often heavily salted. Sunflower seeds are loaded with sodium. An ounce can contain as much as 330 milligrams of sodium, but sunflower seeds are so small and addictive that most people eat 3 to 5 ounces without thinking. Just a handful of sunflower seeds can be salter than a bag of potato chips. And because they're so small and addictive, it's easy to eat 3 or 4 without realizing it, especially while watching TV. Second, sunflower seeds are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While they are not harmful in themselves, the modern diet has led to an excess of omega-6, which causes inflammation, especially in fragile blood vessels and aging. Third, most of them are roasted in cheap industrial oils, which increase oxidative stress and exacerbate vascular damage, especially at night when blood pressure changes and arteries stiffen with age. Think of your brain's capillaries as thin glass tubes. When inflamed and under pressure, even a tiny thorn can rupture them, leading to a silent, painless brain hemorrhage that impairs memory, balance, or speech. If you have high blood pressure or a history of hemorrhagic stroke, even healthy seeds like these can silently push your brain into danger, especially at night. Instead, try unsalted pumpkin seeds or soaked chia seeds and enjoy them during the day. Because sometimes, the smallest seeds leave the deepest scars. Often touted as a heart-healthy snack, pistachios are found in grocery store snack packs, on office kitchen shelves, and in high-end mixed nut boxes. Rich in potassium, vitamin B6, antioxidants, and healthy fats, pistachios are touted for lowering cholesterol, improving blood circulation, and even aiding weight control. But beneath that beautiful shell, if eaten at the wrong time or in large quantities, especially at night, they can be a sneaky attack on your heart and brain. I remember a 62-year-old man from Florida who was very careful about his diet. He avoided fried foods, ate lots of vegetables, and chose nuts over sugary snacks. One summer evening, after watching a baseball game on TV, he opened a large bag of salted roasted pistachios, the kind sold in supermarkets, and ate most of the bag, about 200 grams. But a few hours later, during a nap, he woke up with a severe headache, dizziness, and difficulty speaking. At the hospital, his blood pressure skyrocketed to 190 over 110 mmHg, and an MRI showed signs of an ischemic stroke. What happened? Salted roasted pistachios are quite high in sodium. The amount of sodium he ate far exceeded the daily safe limit. When combined with the natural potassium in pistachios and the significant amount of fat, the pressure on the circulatory system increases significantly. At night, when metabolism slows down, fat stays in the blood longer, triglyceride levels increase, reducing the body's ability to regulate blood flow. In people with poor vascular elasticity, this is the perfect cause of stroke. Furthermore, prepackaged pistachios are often seasoned or even coated in sugar. Salt raises blood pressure, while sugar spikes blood sugar and triggers a mild inflammatory response, both of which put extra strain on the heart. For people with acid reflux, eating pistachios late in the day can worsen symptoms, make it difficult to sleep, and negatively affect nighttime blood pressure. So the advice here is simple. Pistachios are a great snack when used at the right time and in the right way. Eat them in the morning or at lunch, choose unsalted or low-salt varieties, and control your portion sizes. A handful is enough. Don't let this seemingly harmless snacking habit turn into an emergency room trip you never wanted. The good news is that you don't have to eliminate nuts from your life or live in constant fear of a stroke. The key is to understand how to work with your aging body, not against it. Let me share the exact protocol I now recommend to all patients over 60 who want to enjoy nuts safely while protecting their brains. First and foremost is timing. Eat all nuts in the morning or early afternoon when your digestive system is at its most efficient. Your metabolism is naturally higher at these times, blood flow is optimal, and your body can process fats and other nutrients efficiently without putting stress on your heart. Avoid eating any nuts within 4 hours of your intended bedtime. This gives your body enough time to digest and metabolize the nutrients before your digestive system slows down for sleep. Even healthy nuts can become dangerous when your body can't process them properly at night. Second, choose the right preparation method. Always choose raw or dry roasted nuts without added oil, salt, or sugar. Avoid nuts labeled smoked, honey roasted, or flavored, as these contain inflammatory compounds and excess sodium that increase your risk of heart disease. If you like nuts, soak them for at least 2 hours before eating. Soaking will significantly reduce the oxalate content and make the nutrients more absorbable while reducing digestive stress. Third, practice strict portion control. Limit yourself to no more than 1 ounce, 28 grams, of nuts per day, which is about 23 almonds, 14 walnuts, or 18 cashews. Use small bowls or measuring cups rather than eating directly from a large container, as this is almost guaranteed to cause overeating. Fourth, make it a priority to drink enough water during the day, especially in the afternoon and early evening. Older people often reduce their water intake to avoid going to the bathroom at night, but this makes the blood thicker and significantly increases the risk of stroke while sleeping. Try to drink enough water before 6 p.m., then gradually reduce the amount of water you drink. Fifth, if you have heart disease, diabetes, or kidney problems, consult your doctor before making any changes to your diet. Some people may need to avoid certain nuts completely or need extra monitoring to be safe. When choosing nuts, choose raw or dry roasted without added salt or oil. Avoid prepackaged nuts labeled smoked, salted, or honey roasted. These often contain inflammatory fats and excess sodium. And one of the most overlooked habits, drink enough water, especially in the afternoon and early evening. Older adults often reduce their fluid intake to avoid nighttime urination, but this can lead to thicker blood and a higher risk of stroke while sleeping. A balanced hydration regimen can make the difference between protection and stress. The change can be dramatic if you follow these guidelines. Patients who switch from eating nuts at night to in the morning often see improvements in sleep quality, morning energy levels, and cognitive clarity within just 2 to 3 weeks. Remember, nuts can actually be brain-protecting foods when consumed properly. But the right way is not just about choosing the right nuts, but also about eating them at the right time so that the body can absorb the maximum benefits. Because nutrition is not just about what to eat, but also when to eat. This is a golden rule that applies to all types of food, from nuts, fruits, to vegetables. Eating at the wrong time not only reduces the effect, but sometimes it can be counterproductive, even dangerous to health. The danger is that many people still carelessly eat foods they think are healthy at any time, without knowing that eating at the wrong time can have a negative impact quickly. For example, you may have heard about the benefits of green vegetables, but few people expect that some seemingly harmless vegetables can increase the risk of stroke overnight if eaten at the wrong time. By the way, I just released a new video on this topic, including a list of those vegetables and the science behind them. If you want to really pave the way for health prevention and recovery, click on the link on the screen now. After all, lasting health does not come from a few miracle foods, but from how you combine and use them intelligently. Choosing the right foods is important, but choosing the right time to eat them is the key to helping them maximize their effects and protect your body in the long term. After 60, every meal, every little habit can make a big difference between a clear, energetic body and a body that is often tired and sick. Start listening to your body, adjust your eating times appropriately, and don't miss out on valuable information that can help you prevent health risks starting today. If anything in this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments what one change you're going to make starting tomorrow. If you found it helpful, give it a like to help others find the same. And please subscribe so we can continue to learn, grow, and become stronger together. You're not alone on this journey, and you're never too old to take back control of your health.